Yes, Kabul.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to accidentalmuslims.com. Today we have with us Coach Imtiyaaz Hendricks, life coach. We know him from MSA days at UWC. Look like you're cringing a little bit.
Yes, we are.
Welcome. Assalamu alaikum, Imtiyaaz.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. The pleasure is all mine.
Alhamdulillah. And I have with us Amir Alika and Khalil Alika behind the camera. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Who is Imtiyaaz Hendricks?
Is my hair alright? I don't know. I always wear my cap, so my mother's Imtiyaaz formality. In any case, the question was.
Who is Imtiyaaz Hendricks?
You're just snapping pictures as we go along.
That's what happens. That's how it goes.
My job.
Okay, fantastic. Who is Imtiyaaz Hendricks? Wow, what a powerful question. Mostly asked in a lot of interviews I've been in. And I think maybe the easiest way to answer that kind of question is to say, who is Imtiyaaz Hendricks not? Interesting. I just thought maybe I added a little spin on things. But let's leave that kind of thing for now. So basically what I can say is that Imtiyaaz Hendricks is this young lad on a journey towards creating an awareness, right? So there's this sort of universal law that's been following me around this past few years of my life, and the universal law is called the law of sufficiency and abundance. So Imtiyaaz Hendricks is that individual that tries to share that message with the world, and the law of sufficiency and abundance is saying that everything within you right now, if you utilize that, you can make your life a living dream. And what I try and do is I wish to just take this message and share it with whoever it is that I come in contact with. So as my format and my platform as a life coach, I utilize that platform in saying, okay, so what is your dream? Let's make that clear. And what are the things that you need to unlock within you in order to achieve that dream? And what are the things that you need to discard within you to achieve that dream? And if you do not, if you are unclear on what that dream is, then what happens is that you then start forming things such as justifying, blaming, low self-esteem, all because of that lack of clarity. So that is essentially in a nutshell of what the mission is for me, what Imtiyaaz Hendricks is really after. Okay, I'm going to stop the third person reference now. And now we're starting with, me. Okay. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit. You said life is sufficiency, is about sufficiency and?
It's the law of sufficiency and abundance.
Okay, so tell us a little bit.
I feel that most of us, especially in Cape Town, South Africa, we have this mindset of scarcity, this mindset of limitedness. So in understanding efficiency and abundance, we're trying to really say there's so much more in the world that we have yet to comprehend. There is enough of everything. I am enough. I was watching this beautiful seminar. It's like a 5-day workshop that I've been a part of. It was so fantastic because every excuse that individuals were giving, why you're not succeeding in your business, why you're not growing in your relationships, why you're not establishing yourself in this life, whether you're going to become an author, whether you want to study maths, whether you want to, whatever it is that you want to do in this life. Then people come up with, no, I'm not confident enough, I don't have the skills required, I'm not talented enough, I can't understand and write English with punctuation, all the excuses and everything that we come up with in the world. He brings it down to one thing, saying that I'm not enough. So we all come from the place of, I am not enough. You turn on the radio, you hear about the crimes, you hear about the violence, there is so much of these things that we're being reminded of. Now I'm not saying it's bad. It's good to be informed about these things, but then more so, 80% more, we should be focusing on what we have. And that is essentially the mission of the law of sufficiency and abundance, that there is enough of everything and that I am enough. And that's the message. If we can start there, he gives such a simple concept, He says that if we should start with understanding that we are enough within ourselves and I have enough, that will be the platform that will propel us in whatever dream, whatever goal, wherever it is we want to take ourselves, society, community, our families and our friends, wherever it is we want to go, if we can build on the foundation of I am enough, that is the starting point. So that is basically the law of sufficiency and abundance, that everything within, I have everything within me right now to make my life a living dream. So we just need individuals such as yourselves, such as accidental Muslims, such as people that are able to speak about, like you're saying, changing the narrative. Individuals to cause this kind of reminders for society and people in the community. I need you and you need me. It's this kind of interdependency that we're trying to create. So we're not saying that you as the life coach, you are the expert or you are the master in your field. We're saying that you as the life coach, you are able to create an interdependent relationship. And that is the best platform of society. You can either become a human being that's dependent on another or a human being that's independent. But the way to grow a society is interdependency, whereby I can help you and you can help me. And that is sort of the relationship we build in coaching. That's the relationship that we build in understanding the concept and the idea of the law of, this is just one of there are a lot of other universal laws that we have learned in the course. But for me, this is the one that stood out, the law of sufficiency and abundance. And that is what I carry with me throughout my journey and my mission.
So what led you to doing this?
Oh, goodness gracious, brother. So what led me to this, let's go back maybe a little bit further back, right? A little bit more. Grade 1.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, as far as that. You weren't expecting that. Did you see that? We try and do that sometimes, eh? So yes, as far as grade 1. So I was the little guy, new at school, standing behind my mother's dress, not wanting to go to class. Because I don't have any friends, because I don't know anybody, because, you come up with all the kinds of excuses in the world, So that is where my journey started. And then, fast forwarding, so that was me. Very shy. I used to stutter a lot. I had writing problems. I had to go to occupational therapy. They wanted to diagnose me with ADHD. So all of the stories will continue from that. We won't go too deep, right? And it's more about when you experience what it's like to share a relationship with somebody that believes in you, that tells you, you know what, it's possible. You are able. You are capable. You are enough. You are empowered. Then what that sort of does is that it creates that feeling inside of you. So that is what sparked off that journey. So then I'll carry on to grade 3. Grade 3 was a very funny year because we had to write what you want to become one day. Now I was your normal average kind of standard, okay, let's go to the moon, become rocket man, first thing, so whatever the case may be. And then I carried on my vision to having my pet shop. I used to love animals. And then, okay, let's fast forward an extra few years. So then I left school grade 6. How long can I go for the story? Because I really feel like we're going off now, right?
No, we're really not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let me know. So what happened in grade 6? My parents said, Imtiyaaz, you have to study Hifz. I say, why Hifz? They say, Imtiyaaz, Hifz. I say, why? They say, Imtiyaaz, try it out. Go for it. So I left school grade 6. So then what happened was that I was at Sheikh Puli. And then I was at Sheikh Puli for a few years. Wasted some time there, although I learned a lot of things there as well. Then I went to a school closer to mine because the traveling was an issue. Then I went to a school closer to mine, Sheikh Majdi. It was in Taronga Road. Spent extra few years in Imtiyaaz. Listen here, that's not working. You're catching on some things. We're not very happy with that. Why don't you try leaving Cape Town? I said, leave Cape Town? But I love Cape Town. Why must I leave Cape Town? Imtiyaaz, give it a go. Give it a shot. So they were my first coaches. You see that kind of relationship opening up the discussion. Yeah. As coaches, we believe that you need to provide the individual with autonomy. Once the person feels that they have autonomy, that they have a certain kind of response, they have a capacity to make a decision. Oh my goodness, it does wonders to the individual. Because then when you make the decision and you faced with the repercussions of that decision, it does wonders to you. So then I left. I left in 2007. And now this was my mission away from home. Stayed in a boarding school, no cell phone, you can't go to the shop, you want to go somewhere, you need to write a letter, sign it by 3 teachers before you can leave the building. So that was 4 years for me. I completed my first, I completed in 2007 and I decided I'm going to spend the extra 3 years to do some Islamic studies, Imamat. Alim course.
And where was this again? In
Darul Uloom Pretoria.
Pretoria.
Yeah. So when I was in Darul Pretoria, now we come to your question. You see, sometimes we have to go there to get here. Are you with me? So then what happened was, I was in the boarding school, friends and brothers from Pakistan, brothers from England, brothers from India, brothers from Mauritius, all over the world, Malawi, Botswana, you name it. A wonderful atmosphere, although at the time we didn't see it as such.
Okay.
That's usually the case, eh? We
Interesting.
complain where we are now. Are you with me? Sheikh Hamza used to say it so beautifully, eh? Now I'm going to go for a lot of attention as well. He says that individuals complain so much about the petrol prices, but at that time they complain about the price. I'm just converting to rands. He said they complained that there was a rand increase. Now we paying petrol for a litre for 6 rand. The world is complaining. Paying for 6 rand, paying 6 rand. And then if we think about it, and then he says that the Almighty says that if you complain about if you find a reason to complain, the Almighty will give you more reason to complain. But if you find a reason to be grateful, He will give you more reason to be grateful. So we always sort of look at our life now as scarcity, as limit, as being limited, etc. And we really struggle to come in terms of what's happening now. So I'm making the statement that it was a wonderful, awesome experience. We were a hostel of about the top room. They used to call it the hospital room. There were 32 beds in there. All of us like about just about 1 meter apart. And we all sometimes used to get together after class. Class used to finish at 9 o'clock every night. That's what the breaks in between. After our ta'aleem and making revision of the day. And then we used to get together, and then sometimes the boys used to complain about how they miss their parents, how there's something happening at home. And then I used to just sit there, you know. And then I used to listen, and I used to think to myself, wow, is there a profession like this? That you can sit and listen to people's problems? And that's what sparked it out. I think that was like 2009. 10 years ago, look at that, a full decade. Allahu Akbar. Let's join together. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. So that's what happened to me. So then I had that, and then I was sitting there, then I said, is there something? So there was one smart boy, his wajib, marhum, Allah took him away. He, subhanallah, very, very young boy. He graduated at Alim. A few years later, then he passed on. So I remember we still had a very good discussion. And then I said, because we all used to go to him, he was very good at English, very good at school, understanding things. So I said, is there a profession that people pay when you sit there and then they talk to you about things? And then he said, yes, call a psychologist. I said, no, man, that's the same thing that used to come on the cartoon show. Are you telling me that that's a real profession? Because then they used to sit there, they talk about their problems, about their things, and then they used to lay on the couch, and they used to draw things on the board, and they used to say, is this what you're talking about? And then they used to say, but I tell you what, man, think about the trees, go outside, look at the sun. So this is what I used to watch on Cartoon Network. And now Waj is telling me, no, it's a real profession. I'm like, but brother, you're lying to me. He said, brother, I'm not lying to you. He said, brother, you're lying. So then I found out that it is a real profession. And then I said, mommy, daddy, I'm going to go back to school because I want to do psychology. That's where the journey started for me. Oh my goodness. Reminiscing now with such amazing experience. I just want to take a moment of silence. So, but in any case, what happened thereafter? But mommy, daddy, I left school grade 6. What am I going to do now? I wasn't in school for grade 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm 21 years old now. Do I go to grade 7? Sure. What happens now? And then you always hear of the stories people study hifz. But yet their journeys continue. They're still studying, they're becoming, they're achieving, they're doing things. And you always hear about these things, but do you really believe it, man? You know it, but do you believe it? And that's part of the journey that I also take, man. The journey that I take, yes, we believe we are this human beings, powerful beyond measure. We are these individuals that are empowered. We are powerful. We are great. We are unique. We say all these kind of affirmations. I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ خَلَقَنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. You know, the Almighty says that. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلْ سَافِلِينَ. You know, then you are reduced to the lowest. And then I think but then whose decision is that? Is it Allah's decision to reduce you to the lowest of the low? Or is it your decision? Whose decision is it? You see, again, the autonomy comes in, and that's what we introduce a lot in the life coaching aspect. So then I thought to myself, okay, let's do grade 6. What do I do now? The Almighty just opened up a door and a way, and then I went straight to grade 11.
You're a champion.
I went straight to grade 11, Jamaatul Muslim. Are we live? Are we there?
Yes.
Is my still right, Muslim? No way. I don't like going without my cap. My cap is there. Just in case.
You don't need it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Brother, I will check this out later. So then what happened was I went straight to grade 11. You will not believe the year I had. Imagine that I left school grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because it was, but all I didn't know any better. All I knew in my mind is that I wanted to do psychology. I wanted to sit on the couch, have my client lay down, draw pictures about birds and clouds and trees, and show them at the end of the session, and have them happy, live a happy life thereafter. That's the only thing I had in my mind. Not the business studies, not the circling with maths and, can I say circling? Is that allowed? Are you sure?
Yes.
Don't crop it out later and tell me it's okay. So anyway, so then what happened was, so then that's the vision I had. In my first term, grade 11, subhanallah, there was about 30 children in the class. I came back about 28th. Right? Now the doubts come through, and now you're like, oh my God, what's happening? And I think, now the doubts start coming through because of your experience. And then what's happening in life coaching as well. People leave drived and fueled up and fired up in the session when they experience certain things, but then life throws them with certain, or you have a specific outcome now in the outer world, then you start questioning. You start doubting. People left Islam because of this, right? Because when the revelation stopped for a specific time. That's what your outer world experience does for you. And I'm throwing snippets of life coaching. So in life coaching, we focus on building an inner you regardless of your outer world. That's what we focus on. So then that was my first term. Second term, what happened to me was that in my second term, the Lord has it in such a way, right? I'll tell you this. In my second term, I came 6.
Yeah.
Allahumma salli.
From 28 to 6.
Sure.
My brother.
That's impressive.
My brother, from 28 to 6.
That's better than first.
Listen to him now.
It really is.
It really is.
Good job.
But the thing is this, man. It's not about being the smartest, the most. It's about knowing what you want and setting out to get it. Because I was always an average student. And I was never one for accolades in my primary school years. And then when we came to the last term, and then I was 4th. I couldn't believe it, what happened. Then I thought to myself, okay, Imtiyaaz, you're wasting a little bit of time now at school, right? Now, for those of you at school, work hard, study hard, go to school, right? Listen to your parents. Just for now, we're going to be saying that, right? Because what happened at school, I found, is that you come back from the weekend, the Owens are talking about what happened on the weekend till Wednesday in class. Teacher takes about 20 minutes to settle the class down. Then from Thursday to Friday, they talk about what's going to happen for the next weekend. Yeah. So I thought, no, man, can I do something else next year? Do my matric and can I maybe do a pro bono or internship based on what I studied? And that's exactly what happened. I promise you that thought just came in my mind December, and then it happened like that. It's amazing whatever you put forward, and the Almighty, He sort of just signs it off and say, okay, approved, pre-approved. It's about that yaqeen, man. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward now long. So you asked me one question, we're continuing for an hour, my brother. So I'm going to...
This is the point. Yeah.
It's about everyone getting to know you.
I want you just to say, record his words here. He says this is the point.
This is the point.
This is the point.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had this experience before. This is the point, and they cut you 10 minutes in. So anyway, so then what happened was, okay, then I made out a new WC, and then I'm gonna wrap it up on this note. But this is what sparked off my drive, man. In my mind, it was psychology, man. Psychology was the light. Psychology was the field for me. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else. I was told, Imtiyaaz, if you want to be a psychologist, you're going to have to go against 600 individuals, and they're only going to select 40 from that cohort to do the honor program. So out of the 600, they only select 40. And this is the news that's coming to me. What's the chances of a child that left school grade 6 and then skip all those years? And then what's the chances of those individuals that's been studying for 12 years all their life? How are you going to up yourself against them? Now, the minute you ask yourself that question, there's conflict that happens there. So in life coaching, again, we don't ask that kind of questions. 80% of what life coaching is, it's about asking the right questions. Because if you can ask the right questions, were you with me?
Yeah.
So then anyway, I finished my course up at UWC. You see, I'll wait for that response. The life coaching tactic there. Yeah, in any case, let me fast forward. Okay, we are now in 2015. We went from 2004 to 2015. So I graduated UWC, the most amazing experience. I'm not going to give too much detail about that. Then I was accepted for the honors program at UCT. I went to UCT, I finished up my honors program, and then I applied for my clinical psychology, because you need to do clinical psychology if you want to become a psychologist, a clinical psychologist.
Okay.
And in clinical psychology, my brother, they only select 6 out of 200 applications.
Wow.
So from the 200 applications, they select about 40 people to do interviews. It's a week rigorous program. Then they only select 6 individuals. Then you spend like 4 years, you do clinical psychology. And then now all of my thoughts were going crazy. How am I going to do this and blah, blah, blah. I made it for both interviews. And I was right at the very bridge of it. And the Almighty decided something else. Oh my Lord, can you imagine that? But then what happened was, I'm going to just fast forward a little bit. 2014, as I mentioned, I was introduced to life coaching. Now I was like, okay, life coaching, wow, very similar to the design, the vision that I had. Because I had the opportunity to be coached for 6 months. Because there's one individual, they were doing the internship, and I had it for absolutely free. I didn't pay a cent.
Okay.
I was really so fortunate to get into this opportunity, because apparently the fee that they were going around was about, for that specific course, about 20-30K, and I got it for absolutely free. Again, a gift from the Almighty. And this was 2014. Then I ignored it entirely 2015. When I got to 2000 and the end of 2015, I said, okay, let me do this life coaching thing. Let me see what it's about. And then my world opened up. I thought, oh my goodness. What I was actually after this whole time was life coaching. And then that's where I saw the difference. But the Almighty allowed me to go a bit further in that discovery, because I was then able to do an internship in psychology.
Okay.
And in 2017, so I was at Red Cross. I was doing I was in the psychiatric unit, working with children with children with behavioral difficulties, schizophrenia, and that sort of like mental issues. So I had the privilege of experiencing what the psychological world was about while I was doing interning and things for life coaching as well. Then I saw the difference. Okay, this is psychology, this is life coaching. And then the rest is history, my brother. That's when I made the decision. Life coaching all the way.
So what attracts
Be
you?
careful what you ask now, because we might spend another hour. I'm joking. No, that was the long story. No more long stories now. No more long
No, I
stories.
just want to know what exactly attracts you to life coaching, or what pulled you away?
Mm-hmm.
What pulled you away from psychology?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Come now, don't be so in that. That was the right.
Okay, why don't you answer?
She want to know other things.
Yeah, I know.
No, but that's a very good question.
What pulled you away from?
Because I was gonna say now, but I thought, no man, I don't want to say. I want you to ask me.
Okay.
She gets me. She gets what I mean. So why life coaching for me? Now, oh my goodness, a lot of psychologists are going to throw me against the wall now, okay? But I'm going to just, in my opinion, my perspective, what I've identified, what birthed psychology was sort of deficit driven. What birthed psychology 100 years ago was Sigmund Freud. He's saying, what's the problem here? And let's fix your problem. That's psychology in a nutshell. What's the issue here? Let me fix the issue.
Okay.
Right? And then that was my experience throughout 2017 when I was doing my internship. What's the issue over here? Let us fix this issue. That was psychology. And then I saw what happens in the field and what happens to the clients, the patients, etc., etc. But life coaching says a completely different thing. Life coaching says, get this picture. Life coaching says, do you have it? Get this picture. Life coaching says, where are you now and where do you want to be? See the difference between the two. So life coaching is saying, where are you now? And where do you... So that's what life coaching does, right? And that is the difference, my brother. So in psychology, you're looking at it, it's sort of rehabilitation, man. Rehabilitating.
Yeah.
But psychology, it's intervention. What can we utilize? And then again, now you see we're making a full circle. And that's the beauty of such interviews, right? We'll be making a full circle because we said that, especially in my vision, in my drive. Now, there's a lot of different fields of psychology and life coaching. Again, this is just me, my views, my thing, right? Everybody has their own experiences as well. But that is why I say that the law of sufficiency and abundance, I have everything within me right now to make my life a living dream. You see how the conversation changes.
It does, yeah.
Are you with me? And coming out from a childhood whereby I never used to really make good friends, especially grade 1, grade 2, grade 5, it was wonderful because I had relationships with individuals that cared. So that they helped me through my stuttering, they helped me with my sort of hyperactivity, right? And they helped me with my writing. So then the confidence began to boost. And that's why I'm saying that the discipline in the field, it's very good to be in both, in all of it. I'm not trying to say that any specific field or discipline is absolute or obsolete. But what I'm trying to say is that where it speaks to me so much more is life coaching, because I want to know where you are now and where you want to be, more so than where you are now and what happened to you. How can we fix you? What's broken? The conversations are different.
What all do you do? So you're a life coach, right? But then I know you lecture.
Yes.
Tell us about that. What is it that you lecture?
Okay.
How do you get into that?
Give me 1 second. You can continue the question. I'll just take a second.
That's my question. But I'm joking.
Sorry, I thought maybe you want to color it in a little bit more.
Yeah,
okay.
So I know
okay.
And there's the program as well.
Yes. Oh my. So now, subhanallah, you know we're all gonna sort of get into one of the practices that I do, but then we're gonna leave to. Okay, I don't know what time we're gonna be running until. Just let me know, because I want to speak about 2 more things just before we conclude.
Okay.
Just let me know when I can slip that in, right?
Sure.
Let me know when I can slip that in. So the question was, okay, I'm going to start first with the lecturing thing. Again, you know, the Almighty, I mean, you see, that's why for me it's so important, man. What kind of world do you live in, man? Do you live in a world that is broken, restricted, and sort of scarcity? Or do you live in a world of abundance? The way that these things came about in my life, it just unfolds. But when your niyyah is there, when your dua is there, when the intention and when the consciousness and the belief, all these tools, man, we speak about, and we create a space where we can talk about this. And that's why platforms such as this, it's so wonderful, because you're focusing on those elements.
It's so amazing because I keep thinking of the I am to my slave what he thinks of me. And it's like, it's tying in so much with yourself to what you're saying.
I can't handle this, you need to pause this just for those moments of epiphanies, you know. Are you pausing? Please pause. No, 100, I know, but
no,
that's...
it's really like going in my mind.
I will open up this book and I'll show you that's literally the exact hadith Qudsi I was going to read for you tonight. That's one of the things that we talk about as well in the show Journey to Greatness. We talk about the quantum dimension. We talk about the unseen world, the ghayrul ilm. We talk about the things that are unseen, how all of these energies come together. And like, you know, it's like the secret, man. The law of attraction. It's like you thinking something, and then, hey, the person comes up, you know, you're thinking about somebody the weekend, then hey, they get the phone call. It's exactly the kind of energy that we talk about, how things unfold, how it naturally unfolds in the world, in the cosmos of the Almighty. So, in what you say now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ana inda dhanni abdi bi, that I am to my servant as he or she thinks of me. And that's what it is, man. That's the number one message that we all really want to go to. So, I am, edit that part out. I don't want anybody to hear me say that. I am working with the Academy of Life Coaching. I do the office work, I do the marketing, I do some of the events as well. Anything that would attach me to life coaching, I go for. So I started with him in December last year. So then she introduced me to a college in Pinelands. So then what happened was, give me a second, I have some inflammation. But what happened was she introduced me to the college. I'm not sure if I can mention the place's names. Hey? Oh, Patricia Mansion. So Patricia Mansion is the CEO and founder of the Academy of Life Coaching. And she's the one that employed me to work with the Academy of Life Coaching, who graduates life. So basically what we do is I don't want to say a factory of that produces life coaches, but that's like a school of life coaching, a university of life coaching. So then Patricia was working with this college for a number of years. So then she introduced me to say, Imtiyaaz, I'm doing this post now, and they're looking for somebody. Why don't you come along with me? Let them meet you, and maybe they will introduce you. So then they're busy. They're actually running this course. It's exceptional. It's called Leadership and Self-Development. And what they do is they run the scores with the first years, the second years, and the third years on the university. And from the first year, they have this guiding questions that they ask, like, who are you? So for the entire year, they need to discover that question. And the second, so there's two questions in the first year. The first question is, who are you? And the second question is, how can we be successful? So they need to inherently search for that. So we deal with various theories and topics and modules of leadership and developing the self. When they come to second year, it's, I forget what the question is in second year, but in third year, the question is, how can I pay it forward? You see, it's that kind of inherently kind of building on that character. So that's one of the universities that I'm involved with. It's been an amazing journey. They're actually going to be moving now to Woodstock, in fact. I'm not going to mention any names now, just for other reasons, whatever. And then out of nowhere, I get the opportunity to lecture at another university, and this is Islamically based. In, okay, I'm not going to even say the area, everybody will know if I say the area, but we do the course Global Leadership and Life Orientation. And what we're going to be doing is sneak peek. There's a trailer for everybody. There's exclusive information now. We're going to be introducing a Islamic-based life coaching course for these individuals.
Yeah, that's much needed.
Thank you, brother. Did you hear that? Yeah. Did you get that on mic? That is much needed.
It's much needed, yeah.
So those are the two universities that I'm involved with at the moment. Maybe next time we'll talk about what are the names of the institute. For now, I'm just going to keep it for the, you know.
And then the other thing, it's journey to greatness.
Journey to greatness. Can I spend 5 minutes on this one?
Yeah, no. So and your Instagram post and stuff. You can tell people to follow you.
5 minutes. You must 5 minutes.
No, I know, man. Don't be rude. So yeah, how did that also, is that also just about impacting?
Oh my. You see, Allah Akbar. You're gonna make me cry, man. There's no twin savers here, guys. Please, we need twin savers when we're interviewing people, eh? Seriously. These are topics that can really, you know, when a vision, now I'm gonna bring it back to your living dream. Knowing your living dream. And once you're able to know it, you know what tools to unlock within you to start searching for that, to start working towards it. I've identified that years ago. And because I've identified it, certain opportunities comes in your way. So I went to my mother-in-law's house. Minding my own business. I look through the bookshelf. I see there a book that stands out for me. The book says, The World at Your Feet. I'm like, hey, brother, what is this about? The world at my feet? Imagine that. I pull the book out, I open it up. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is the exact same thing I've been researching for all these years. And they're calling me for supper, and I'm like, I don't want to put it away. And I'm saying, if I don't stop it now, I'm gonna have a very long drive home with the wife, you know, because if you don't, you know, comply sometimes. I close the book, I put it in the shelf. The ways of the world have it. We find ourselves there again, but this time it's Eid. I go to the same shelf, I take the same book out, I look at it. They're all waiting. They're gonna serve lunch now. The Eid lunch, my brother. You don't want to be late for that day. I was late. You can't. But I was. I want to show you the importance of this. I was late for the Eid lunch, based on this book. So then I said, Malika, I came the first time you called me. I'm not gonna come again. She said, Imtiyaaz, if you don't come now. I said, okay, Malika, I'm gonna come now, but you have to promise me that are you gonna ask Uncle Ayub if I can borrow this book? She said, okay, Imtiyaaz, I'm gonna ask. Man. Yeah, sometimes you. So then I said, okay, cool bananas. I'm gonna enjoy my lunch. I'm gonna leave with this book now. So then I'm reading the book and I'm enjoying my life thereafter. I leave the book on my mother's counter. She picks it up and she says, Imtiyaaz, what is this? She phones the author of this book because she convinced me to do the life coaching course and I convinced her, so we're both life coaches. So we're both into this kind of thing. Cool. So she made contact with the author. He's based in Cape Town. I'm like, no ways. She says, Imtiyaaz, we're going to meet the author of this book. The full name is called The World at Your Feet, Destiny in Your Hands, The Quantum Dimension and You. And I'm reading the extract from the book. The extract says that wherever you are in your life right now, whatever your educational background, whatever your financial status, whatever you have in your life, right now, inside of you, there's a key to unlock the vault to unlimited and potential and success. I was like, oh my goodness. So I met him, we had a very good conversation at La Rocca. The ways of the world, again, coming in now. The quantum dimension, the cosmos, and the energies and whatever. He said, Imtiyaaz, I want you to do a course based on my book. I want you to run with this. He gave me full rights of his book. Allahu Akbar. How is this possible?
Yeah,
how is this possible? Immediately my mind started flickering. I said, okay, I have a connection with VOC. We ran a few programs before. I approached VOC. I said, I want to run a course. You need to give me a slot. You need to give me a slot. You need to give me a slot. They gave me a slot. They promised I can say VOC, the voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM. So for those of you that are a little bit irritated every morning in the month of Ramadan, you know who it was, right? You know who it was. Every morning from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock. Yes, you have it. He's here with you today. So then what happened was they gave me a slot in January. And ever since then we're running that slot. So the course Journey to Greatness, it's based on his book. And things has just been getting better ever since. He printed a huge load of books and he gave all those books to me. He said, Imtiyaaz, the book is called, I'm so sorry guys. I actually had to bring you guys a book.
That's right.
As a token.
What's his name? What's his name?
Babu Pablanca. That's what he's called, but it's A.G. Abdul Ghani Pablanca, but everybody knows him as Babu. He ran this course a few years ago. He doesn't run it anymore. So he ran the course a few years ago and it's been extremely successful. But he sort of, his businesses were flourishing and that sort of took most of his time. But we're getting into it now once again. I'm so sorry, I'm going to bring you guys all books. Remember that. That's a token of my appreciation to you. So you can all go home and see exactly what captured my heart and my everything. So that's what sparked the Journey to Greatness every Monday evening. Voice of the Cape 91.3 from 6 till 7. Sorry, I don't know if I can promote really on your page. All right.
Okay, so I think you wanted to mention something before.
Yeah, you wanted to do like.
This would be a good time.
You wanted to slide into things. Apparently.
2020.
Okay. Let me do that. Let me just collect my thoughts now. There was so much more, but let me sort of just wrap it up on this note. So for 2020, we're gonna start something called the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is it's particularly for now, it's designed for young learners, young leaders, right? Age about 14 to about 30 odd, mid 30s around there. And we're gonna allow this group of individuals to be life coached, to establish a relationship of growth mindsets of where am I now and where do I want to be. So that is one of the things that we're going to be doing for next year. And surely, as the days or weeks progress, we will know more and more about that. On one concluding factor, just before I sign out, I want to say one of the, or from my side, a message maybe. I don't know, maybe you're going to ask for a message. I'm very forward. I'm so sorry.
I want to do the lightning round.
Okay, do that.
Then you can
Proceed with that. Proceed with him. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running for time. Okay.
But is that all you...
for now,
yes,
for now.
So people can follow you and then they can find out more information
Yes,
about that.
yes, as the, yeah.
Handle?
Okay, yeah, the handle is Imtiyaaz_CT Coach. So that is the Instagram handle. You can check that out on Instagram, Imtiyaaz_CT Coach, or you can go on Facebook and you can search Journey to Greatness.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so basically it's a lightning round. You complete the sentence. First thing that comes to mind.
Oh goodness.
Okay, ready?
Are these marshmallows going to be up for grabs? Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, Allah is?
All-encompassing.
Love is?
True.
The world needs?
More of accidental Muslims. Sorry, it's lightning in my mind. Sorry, continue.
Happiness is?
Everything.
Success is?
Based on what you define it to be.
Being a Muslim to you means?
Immense responsibility.
Leadership is?
I'm trying to put it in the words, but serving the Ummah.
And Islam to you is?
Guiding principles for life.
Okay, now we have a defining question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was a bit intense.
That's
Oh my
actually
goodness.
the most important question of the interview.
This is really
With
like
ordering
what defines.
a pizza. Do you have pineapple with it?
When ordering a pizza,
Yeah. Do you take pineapple
Do
as a
you
topping?
do you enjoy pineapple on your pizza?
I never enjoyed pineapple on my pizza. I never
So we
enjoyed.
give it there. Let's get
I never ever.
Well done, that's
but-
the right answer.
Okay. I never enjoyed it, but
On top.
I feel that people need to know this. There was so much curiosity. There was so much curiosity. Why look? I don't like pineapple on anything.
Well done.
Anything.
But then it doesn't qualify for the question.
What do you mean?
He doesn't like pineapple.
Do you eat pineapple on its own?
So no, I guess I like
There
pineapple.
we go.
Then
Me
I
also.
allow.
Me too. But it doesn't belong on a pizza.
My heart yearns for pineapple, but when it comes on pizza, my brother,
Doesn't
I
make
was
sense.
very. Yeah, it doesn't make.
Yeah.
But then I wanted to experiment. I'm so sorry.
Don't say.
I took one bite of the pizza first, and then I chewed a little bit, and then I put the pineapple in, and there was some explosion that happened. I'm sorry, I didn't want to be that guy, but there was an explosion,
But-
and ever since then, I've been playing around with it too.
Okay, but you don't love it. You prefer it.
No, he does. You just said it.
You
Okay. I won't order it.
Listen, then.
I will never order it.
There we go.
But if the kids are having it, and I see it there,
You will take a bite.
yes, I will.
If you're hungry. If
Occasionally.
you're starving.
We're all growing.
We will.
We're all growing, I like that.
So I'm only one. You're only one in
I like to see the other responses. Oh my goodness. What's the ratio on now?
They one ahead of me.
No ways.
Only one.
Really?
But thank you because
We
you
could
are
have
my
been
team
two,
now.
but
I'm so sorry. I am. Yeah, you can't put this vote anywhere. I'm ridiculous.
No,
I'm
no,
so
you
sorry.
smart vote. Thank you. I wanted to ask you something. What do you have a message for the youth?
I do.
Also finding themselves in a similar path, I think.
You know, as
the
much as I want to give this message to the youth, I need the adults also to know it. Man. Is it fine?
Yes. of
I
course.
need the adults to know it. I'm taking from the words of Louise Hay now. Louise Hay says that clients throughout the world that come to her, throughout the world, financial problems, medical problems, mental problems, relationship, no matter what the issue, she prescribed one thing to all her clients. Primarily, the very first thing that they should work on. This is going to be my message. The very first thing that they should work on. More self-love. She says the number one remedy for anything, whether it's finance, you're suckling. I had to put it in the most harsh way possible, maybe forgive me. Whether you're suckling, whether you have this money issues, whether your marriage is having this or that, or your relationships, or your career, or your studies, the number one thing is self-love. Self-love and less harsh criticism. Less harsh critique, because you are your worst critique. So this is so that's my message. So there's a remedy that I have prescribed for that. If you want to record this at this moment, you can do so. But this is what we're going to be doing. We're all going to say this together. I'm going to say it once, and we're all going to repeat after this.
Cool.
So this is the prescribed saying and mantra that she prescribed on all of us. And it's no stranger to the Deen. It's no stranger to our faith. So she says, in the infinity of life where I am,
in the infinity of life where I am,
all is perfect, whole and complete.
all is perfect, whole and complete.
In the infinity of life where I am,
In the infinity of life where I am,
all is perfect, whole and complete.
all is perfect, whole and complete.
I believe in a power far greater than I am,
I believe in a power far greater than I am,
that flows through me every moment of every day.
that flows through me every moment of every day.
I trust this power,
I trust this power,
knowing
knowing
that there is only one intelligence in this universe.
that there is only one intelligence in this universe.
And with this one intelligence,
And with this one intelligence,
and through this one intelligence,
and through this one intelligence,
comes all the answers,
comes all the answers,
all the solutions,
all the solutions,
all the healing,
all the healing,
and all new creation.
and all new creation.
I trust this power and intelligence,
I trust this power and intelligence,
knowing that whatever I need to know
knowing that whatever I need to know
is revealed to me,
is revealed to me,
and whatever I need
and whatever I need
comes to me
comes to me
in the right time,
in the right time,
space,
space,
and sequence.
and sequence.
Now put your hearts together now. All is well
All is well
in my world.
in my world.
Thank you very much for joining me on that. Oh, you guys are amazing. Wow. Well done. Give yourself. How does it feel? How does it feel saying it?
That is really cool.
Thank you, my
That
brother.
really is.
If we can, now that's the message.
That's really cool.
If those as adults
Yeah.
can allow our youth to feel the center of love, and our youth allow the adults to feel, that is your number one remedy. Listen and take note of how you're feeling at this moment. So if you want to know more of that, you can join Affirmation Day. We're on Affirmation Day 67. Tomorrow is Affirmation Day 68. And we started a new group also for the VOC listeners. We are now on Affirmation Day 7. So there's a lot to go out. There's transformation all around the world. Be part of that. Sure.
Is that your final words also?
Don't ask me. I
Okay.
might go on.
Thank you so much, Imtiyaaz.
Oh,
You were
wow.
also a
Wow.
final guest for 2019. I think it was a very apt final guest
No
for the
ways.
year.
How dare you keep that away from me? Oh my word. Oh. I would have wanted to bring in a little bit more, but I think I brought enough in.
So I think
Yeah.
it was an apt final guest, and
Wow.
it was really a good interview. And we wish you all the very best for your future
Wow.
and all success, inshallah. moving forward.
Jazakallah very much. I want to be very honest with you. It's the space that you guys really created here, man. I might feel that it's me coming in with my experiences, but to be honest, it's the energy that's been here for the past 136, 37? What number are we on?
137.
Thank you, brother. For the past 100, it's a build-up, accumulative of that. So all the energy is still present here. Can you imagine the energy and the power of all of those individuals? It's like I'm just feeding off and feeling that, as well as all of you. And that's what it is. It's amazing. Yo, I couldn't stop, eh? I was worried a little bit there at the beginning.